Liberty Mutual new car replacement will replace the full value of your car. Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
So Trump is doing a lot better than what I would have expected. Colorado is tied with Clinton. Okay, so Trump absolutely has to have Florida. Virginia winning will have to have North Carolina. Those are the two states you're going to want to look at.
Okay, shut up.
You're going to want to. He's going to absolutely have to have North Carolina and Florida. Virginia, he is leading. As we continue to take in the ABC feed here. I got that at Ross.
Seriously.
It's good stuff. I don't get anything but the best.
Yeah.
Yep.
Your voice, your vote. Colorado election results are finally coming in. They're coming in quickly right now. We know 2/3 of you sent your ballots in early.
And counties, of course, still counting. Our polls have only been closed for 25 minutes now. We do have partial numbers for 9 Colorado counties right now. You'll see the results at the bottom of your screen. Now, political reporter Marshall Zellinger is joining us now with some of our experts to break down some of these big races.
You know, we're all
So who's winning?
race, that U.S. Senate race.
It's too close to call. Clinton has the advantage. Believe me, she has the
I think
advantage.
they're just playing sometimes like it's too close to make this movie first.
Maybe.
But they already know who's winning.
But I'm going to tell you, Trump is doing a lot better than what was expected. He is.
Oh, you see how I look at it?
Oh, sorry.
And 70%
Don't
turnout.
even try to
I know
show
we don't
me
have that
all
many
this.
results right now, but first on turnout, impressive for a president, even for a presidential year. Is that right?
Yeah.
I think this could be unprecedented. We could have a huge turnout in Colorado, maybe even 80% for tonight's vote.
Yeah, Republicans are already ahead of where they were in 2012.
So there are at least 3 or 4 potential state senate races that could determine whether the Democrats take the state senate and thus take control of everything in Colorado,
Yes.
or whether the Republicans.
Don't say Colorado, you idiot.
One of those races you've heard a lot about. Laura Woods, Rachel
I'll have to move.
Fenton,
I'll
you
have to
can see
change the
this right
channel
now,
if you keep
full
doing
screen.
that. Or turn it off, right? Yeah, we just lost our feed.
That part of Arvada trying to campaign.
Pretty much where the polling indicated that it would be.
Groups have been coming into this race. How do you feel about your chances taking this seat?
If you look at who's supporting my race, it's hardworking people and families in this district, and I'm not someone who's going to sell out.
And dermatologists.
Corporations. I think people are ready and waiting for the kind of representation they deserve.
We appreciate you talking to us.
Thank you so much.
Again, Scott Tifton tonight at his home with his family in Cortez, watching the results come in. Very important.
Oh, yeah, we'll keep watching those numbers. Take a look at this. Hillary Clinton posted this message on Facebook right after 7 o'clock. It says, stay in line, Colorado. If you're in line and the polls close, you can vote.
Jay Smart is with some of those voters right now. Thornton could be elected.
Just send it back to ABC News.
The end of the line, we're estimating that it's about 30 minutes, maybe 35 from this point, but all of these people get to vote. Here's what happened right at 7 o'clock when the polls closed.
The polls are closed.
So anyone who was in line got one of these little tickets, and they have to have that ticket when they get inside to vote. And just after those tickets were given out, somebody came out and gave pizza and also water to encourage people to stay in the line here and vote. This line actually goes inside the building here, and then it zigzags just a little bit. So as these people get to the door here, they think maybe they've gotten all the way up to the front, but they have not. The good news is, though, that these people...
No on tobacco taxes. That's good. It's 24%, but
There haven't been any significant problems here. Once they get inside, it's a heck of a lot warmer, and that's what these people are waiting for. We're live in Adams County. Jace Larson, Denver 7.
All right, Jace, thank you. So thankfully not problems here in Colorado, although we are hearing about some difficulties in Pueblo where they're trying to count the ballots, but it might go late into the night.
That's right. They were some 5 hours slow counting the ballots down there.
So we'll keep watch on that. And while we take a quick break, we will continue to bring you local results. Just keep an eye at the bottom of your screen. We will be updating results for you all night.
Big night here in Colorado. Unbelievably big night for our country. And please count on us all night long.
And count on me as we continue to bring you the results.
Updating you on the Denver 7 app. We'll see you in a little bit.
I was going over a speed bump and I was rear-ended, and I had to immediately be taken to the hospital. After I was released, I had to go back to the hospital because I had some very serious complications, and that's when I decided to call Frank Azar.
I'm attorney Frank Azar, and I've been fighting for injured car wreck victims in the state of Colorado for over 30 years.
Frank Azar got me a check that changed my life. I was able to get a house and a new car for me and my kiddo, and it totally changed our world.
I'm Frank Azar, the personal injury law partner of the Denver Broncos. Call me now.
Nothing is holding me back from doing the things that I love. I never said that.
So we're going to continue. We're going to continue to keep an eye on Florida. What's happening in Florida? That was one of the states. Trump, he pretty much had to. We knew this going in. He needed to run the table as far as the toss-up states were concerned. States like Florida, North Carolina.
If they want to hear who is winning, they can turn on TV and hear.
Florida.
Doesn't need to see your face over there, you know?
States like Florida, North Carolina. Had to have them. Ohio. Those are three that he absolutely has to have. And Virginia. So we're going to continue to look at Florida as we take a look at what George Stephanopoulos has to say.
Focusing most on those 12 battleground states we'll be keeping an eye on all night long. And let's go right to John Carl with the latest on Florida.
Well, Florida is as tight as it has been, George. Take a look at this. Donald Trump still has a lead, still has a significant lead. But again, as I mentioned before, the Miami area, specifically the county just above Miami, Broward County, this is an overwhelmingly Democratic county. More than a third of the vote is still outstanding. Donald Trump can still, Hillary Clinton can still harvest enough votes in Broward County.
How much of the overall vote is in so far?
The overall vote.
La importancia es que lleguen a los centros de votación antes de que den las 8 de la noche, ya que se encuentran en línea a esa hora, todavía van a poder votar. Entre los incidentes que hemos tenido es que algunos han llegado.
Pull up North Carolina right now, see where that stands. There it is right there, 49 for Donald Trump. He got about a 60,000 vote lead, Matthew Dowd, over Hillary Clinton.
I got to tell you, as it stands now, he's running the table. As it stands now, he's running the table.
We're going to go down to the wire, and that we may not even be decided by this evening. Florida, North Carolina, Ohio. It's going to be a close race.
Those are two states that Donald Trump must win. One state that Hillary Clinton is counting on, the state of New Hampshire, up in the north. Let's pull that up. Right now, there you see Donald Trump ahead there as well, much closer. There's about 78,000 to about 76,000 there in the state of New Hampshire.
And New Hampshire is, a state that is critical to one of Donald Trump's path, and George, incredibly close.
Incredibly close. Right now, another one that is close, state of Michigan. Blue state of Michigan, as we said, a lot of attention there in the end, and Donald Trump also ahead right there right now, about 30,000 votes there over Hillary Clinton and Cecilia Vega. This has to be unnerving the Clinton camp just a little bit.
Yeah, they were a little uncertain about Michigan going in. There was sort of maybe a head fake going on. They thought that they had this in the bag initially, and then they got really nervous and went back to Michigan just late last week. Hillary Clinton made a trip there. They sent former President Bill Clinton there, and President Obama was there. This is a state they want to win. They're not 100% sure about it. And the issue of trade has come up a lot for Hillary Clinton in the course of this race, especially in the primaries with Bernie Sanders and her issue on TPP and her flip-flop, as he would say, on that. And really, it's been used to illustrate what her opponents would say has been inconsistencies in Hillary Clinton's willingness to say anything in their perspective to get elected. And this is something that has hammered her hard over the course of this race.
Okay, we have another projection to make right now. Another part of the solid red South is coming for Donald Trump. That is the state of Louisiana. 8 electoral votes, part of the Republican southern base that has come in for Donald Trump. So you're seeing the map fill in red there across the South and right down the middle of the country. Tom Youngs, what are you hearing from the Trump camp?
Well, right now we're hearing from inside the campaign. They are very buoyant right now. They are happy about what they're seeing. In fact, there's a tweet that just went out. Eric Trump has tweeted out a picture of his dad with Governor Mike Pence inside of Trump headquarters there in their war room, as they're calling it, as they watch returns come in. They're saying they're very excited right now. They like what they're seeing so far from the map. In the states they have won so far. We'll see where it goes from here.
See where it goes from here. But, you know, right now, this could be, as you were saying, Matthew Dowd, a very, very long night.
It could be a really long night. We're seeing this, and we're seeing Donald Trump overperform in a lot of places that people didn't think. People had questions about. He'd get the enthusiasm enough. But he is, in many places, he's setting records in rural and exurban counties in almost every single state.
Alex Castellanos?
Amazing story. You know, the missing Trump voter that we've all been wondering about. Well, they've shown up. We found him. He's in rural America. They're out there voting at intense levels. And that may mean that he can hang on in North Carolina and maybe in Michigan. If he can do that and keep Arizona, that would get...
Okay, so if he steals Michigan, he doesn't need to get North Carolina. I still think he has to have Florida. Just has to have it.
Ohio and Pennsylvania, that they could get the vote out. Talked to some GOP chairman there who said we're very worried because there's no organization here. But in the last couple of days, they really saw that ramp up. I travel around. I saw Trump signs all over the place. People were doing that themselves. Even if Trump didn't have an office, they'd bring in those signs. They'd put them in front of their houses. And of course, in these areas, economy is very, very important. It's the #1 issue, for example, in Ohio. And that's where Trump was leading among those who are worried about the economy.
And George, let's look at the gap in Michigan. This is the exit poll out of Michigan right now. Just the breakdown when it comes to rural voters versus some of those cities that, Detroit, for example, where Hillary Clinton's going to likely overperform Donald Trump. But look at this. Donald Trump, 54 to Hillary Clinton, 39. This could illustrate the success he's having in rural America tonight.
That is right. Now let's take a look at the picture of Donald Trump now watching the returns up there in Trump Tower. There he is, right there, surrounded by supporters, including, as Tom was saying, there's Indiana Governor Mike Pence's running mate right there as well. And John, as we look at that...
Look at the maniacal smile on Trump's face.
If you look at the key states, if you look at New Hampshire, Michigan, North Carolina, and Florida, right now, and they're still counting votes, but right now, in Florida, he still has that slight lead. In North Carolina, he has a lead, very close. In New Hampshire, they've only counted 24% of the votes.
So there's about 10 toss-up states, right? Ohio, Florida, they're calling Michigan, North Carolina, Virginia, Colorado, Arizona's in play. Trump needs all of them. So in the polls leading up to the election, Trump was trailing in Virginia. I think, as far as I know, he's leading in Virginia. Now, and North Carolina was very close, but on Clinton's side, Trump is leading in North Carolina.
Heavily in not just in advertising, in visits. This is one of her most traveled to states since early voting began, and they really tried to lock in that early vote there, build up a firewall, if you will, against Donald Trump, try and lock in these voters. We were talking about that I-4 corridor, that coveted territory of I-4 corridor, and the demographic shift has shifted there. We're not just talking about Cubans anymore, we're talking about a lot of Puerto Ricans that have moved into the area, and they tend to vote more Democratic, especially in Florida, and the Clinton campaign is banking on that coalition for turning out to them.
Terry Moran, one of the things we're seeing revealed here, something you saw in your travels across the country, this real split between the rural and the urban areas.
Absolutely. You go 100 miles outside of a major metropolitan area and you hit it head on. And I'm thinking in particular of a middle school mock election in New Bethlehem, Pennsylvania that I went to, where Trump, not surprisingly, got 86% of the vote from the kids. And I said, well, okay, can you work with the Hillary supporters to make the country better? And they said, no. What we have to do is split this country.
Split this country.
Split this country. Look, the smartest girl in the class, 13-year-old girl. I said, well, we tried that, and it didn't really work. But I got to say, well, one thing, On June 23rd, I stayed up all night in London covering the Brexit thing. And the night began pretty much the same way, with the Brexit people, Nigel Farage, almost acknowledging defeat. And then, one by one, Newcastle upon Tyne, and then Sunderland came in and surprised everyone as the wave began. I'm not saying that's happening, but I've got a sense of deja vu happening.
Byron Pitts.
George, I'm fascinated by this change in America, or what you're saying is happening in rural America versus urban America. In 1967, the Kerner Commission came out and said that there were two Americas, one black, one white, separate and unequal. Now it seems like we've gone in a different direction, where I would think many minorities, people of color, feel like America is now better for them. There are more black people in college than there were 40 years ago. Life expectancy has increased. There's been a 200% increase in the number of black families making more than $200,000. So for minorities in America, they think America is now a better place. But for rural working class white America, it seems like they're unhappy with where America is.
They've been stuck for an awful long time, and now it's got in so many ways you put it between Starbucks and Budweiser in America.
Yeah, I looked at all 50 states and where you have the highest per capita Starbucks per voter. And of the 22 states that you can look at Hillary Clinton carrying, 16 of hers are in the top half. Donald Trump's states that he's carrying, 18 of his 25 are in the bottom half, the little Starbucks. So, but that's why this is the last election, I think, that Republicans can rev up the engine past the red line and try to win with the old white guy strategy. It nearly blew up the car this election. So the challenge for Republicans is we've got to be a party that appeals to more Americans than just that. How do we win in the I-4 corridor? How do we appeal to younger, educated voters? We can't be the party that's not attracting people who think and read.
Mayor Rawlings-Blake?
I think it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to appeal to those voters when you don't have any understanding of urban America. When the only thing you can say about American cities are that they're basically cesspools. You can't grow your party. When you take a look at it, George, almost 90% of the population lives in cities and metro areas. Almost 90% of the jobs are coming from cities and metro areas. It's no mistake that this is going to be a city versus rural vote.
And John Carl, let's also look at another battleground state we haven't looked at in a little while, Virginia. The state of Virginia, which is, of course, one that Hillary Clinton is counting on. What are we seeing there?
Night two, story of the night. Take a look at this. We've got 79% reporting, and Donald
Trump leads in Virginia.
Now, I should caution, once again, we see the Democratic counties coming in slower. One of the biggest, maybe the most important Democratic county is Fairfax County. That's up north, just outside of D.C. So if you look at Fairfax County, right now, 80% reporting. Clinton has a 33-point lead, so she's got a lot more Democratic votes there. But Virginia is a lot closer than I thought it would be at this point.
I want to bring in the chair of the Democratic National Committee, now Donna Brazile, the acting chair of the Democratic National Committee. Donna, thank you for joining us. Right now, we're seeing these close states across the board. We're seeing Florida, we're seeing North Carolina, we're seeing New Hampshire, we're seeing Michigan, we're seeing Virginia. How worried are you?
Well, George, we're still confident that